Hey, sorry,
Hey,
I couldn't see you for some reason.
oh,
I
I'm
just had,
sorry.
yeah, it was weird. Anyway, I see you now.
How
How are
are
you?
you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Goodbye.
Yeah, same.
Hey,
It's
everyone. We are we are just starting to talk about we're going to talk about the third episode of Little Fires Everywhere and just about this series in general. So if you have something you want to talk about, or if you are just getting started, or if you've read the book and you are just wanting to hop on to see what's going on and give us your opinion or just say hi, that's totally fine. But we're going to start with what we're reading now. So if you guys want to tell us what you are reading now, and then we'll talk about what you are reading. And then Jen's going to talk and tell us what she's reading.
yeah. So I am reading our unabridged pod buddy read this month is for Hearts Unbroken by Cynthia. I guess it's Lightich Smith. So I'm reading the first half of that for our buddy read discussion on Monday, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read it once before. Sara loaned it to me before, and the second time through, I mean, I was highlighting like 5 things per page that I want to talk about with our buddy read group. It's such a rich book.
Yeah, that book, it's pretty short and
Yes.
slim, but it definitely, I can't wait to talk about it in the buddy read because it has impacted me more than, I think it made me aware of a lot of things that I was not previously aware of. So I'm excited to discuss that one.
I am too. I think it'll be good. What are you reading?
Well, if you listen to the podcast, you know that I am like struggling with reading. So I am still reading the same book I was reading when we discussed episode 2, which is American Royals. And I'm really liking it, but I'm just having a really tough time with getting through my reading list. So, I mean, I will finish that because it's for the podcast, but if something's not for something specific, I'm having a hard time, which is why I'm glad we're doing these, because I find it a lot easier to watch Netflix or Hulu, and taking notes on Hulu on these episodes has been great. So
I agree. Well, and they're literary adaptations.
Yeah. So
that totally counts.
Right. It's better than The Bachelor, even though I love to watch that too.
You watch The Bachelor, girl. It is all good.
Well, let's start talking about episode 3. I have some mixed emotions, so I'm excited to hear what you think, Jen, because we haven't discussed it. We always discuss these cold, so I'm excited to hear what you think.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's episode 3, and I thought that the episode title was very clever, and just the way that it came kind of full circle. So the episode name was 70 Cents, and I definitely want to talk about that a little bit. But what were your overall impressions, Jen?
Yeah, when you said mixed feelings, and I'm having a hard time, like when I was looking at my notes before, I just watched it today, I'm having a hard time figuring out if it's the adaptation I'm not caring for, or if I'm just so frustrated with what's happening.
Yeah.
But I left kind of feeling icky. Like, there's just there are a lot of people making a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah.
And some of them I feel like are true to the character, and some of them I don't know how I feel about. I'm not sure that they're quite consistent with the character as from the first 2 episodes. I do think what I do like is I can see the pieces sort of moving into place, and I can see the way that they're setting up what's to come.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the last episode, there were so many scenes that I was blown away by, and I just didn't have that feeling this time. What about you?
Yes. Yeah, I feel the same, and I definitely I think for one thing, we're getting into some complicated, I mean, some controversial territory that it's easy to see both sides.
Yes.
Especially, I think the whole storyline with Bebe in the book, I felt the same way, and during this, I feel the same way. It's really complicated. I mean, that whole scenario is really complicated.
Yeah.
And I feel like, as a person coming from an outside perspective and having not dealt with either of those situations, it's hard to comment on, but you definitely feel a certain way at different times, and it's really complicated. And then I think that I am disliking Mia's character in the show more. I am feeling more hostility toward her during the show than I did toward her in the book. And I don't know if it's the acting choices or I don't know. I just felt like this episode especially, she did a lot of things, and I don't know, just some of the way that she, like we talked about last time, that she seemed so calculating last time. I felt it also seemed like that way this time. And also she was making some pretty significant moves that impact a lot of lives, and it having not even, it felt like not thinking it through. Like it all seems so, like I felt in the book that it was way more developed. Like I felt like you could understand her motivation a bit more, but with some of the choices she made, it just seemed so like,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't feel like that what her actions were warranted during. So I don't know. Hey, Jill. Hey, Tony.
Hey.
I saw Ashley jumped on, and Caroline. Hey, guys. So
I mean,
please if you're, I was just going to say, if you're watching the show and you have anything to comment on, please leave it in the comments, because I will be watching them, and we'll talk about them. So what were you going to say, Jen? Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I was in one of my Facebook book groups today that's about books, and someone posted that they hate the adaptation. And I thought that was interesting, but I read it before I watched episode 3. Okay. And I think my feelings were much more positive after episodes 1 and 2. And I'm not saying I dislike the series, because I think, like you were saying, because it's complex, we should feel different ways about it. But like you were talking about Mia, and she is so calculating. So then the recklessness with which she deals with Bebe's whole situation, I just don't believe that she would do all this work and orchestrate this way to make sure that that's her daughter, May Ling, and then that she would just let her go to that party. I mean, she knows, she has to know what is going to happen, that there is no way that can turn out to be good. So it's like she puts this whole plan in place, and then just sort of, because Bebe makes that comment about, if it were Pearl, what would you do? She's just going to let her go to the house in the middle of the party. Yeah. With all of these wealthy people. There's absolutely no good outcome there.
Right. And I also felt like that whole scene with her, like with Mia going to upstairs and all that, it just seemed like so preposterous. And I don't remember feeling that way in the book, but again, I'm pretty far removed from having read the book, but I just was like, there is no way I mean, like with all that whole crowd and where the steps were, I was just like, there's no way she's going to like sneak up the steps. And I don't know. I
know I'm kind of wanting to reread the book, but I'm also enjoying sort of being surprised by some of the things that happen that I'm not predicting. There are some things I definitely remember, but I know there's a lot that I've forgotten. So I'm torn. I don't think I'm going to reread it, but part of me wants to know. Maybe I'll wait till the series is done and then reread it, because part of me is very curious. And some of you who've read it more recently may remember, but I just, there are certain, and even like some of the parallels that they're drawing, I like, but some of it feels too neat. Like, I don't know. And I feel like some of that can be more subtle in a book than in a show. I don't know. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, like, you know, obviously they are able to develop so much more in a book. Yeah. And it's also kind of weird for me too, watching the show. It's both too fast and it also feels really slow at times. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, so that's kind of been, I don't know. Like, I'm not like, I think the first episode was really solid, and and it has like kind of dipped for me a bit.
Yeah. Well, in episode 2, I felt like there were more weak spots, but I felt like the strong scenes were so amazing and so brilliant. And I wonder if part of that is this episode, I felt like rested a little more on the younger actors. And I think that they did a good job, but maybe not enough to carry it against a Kerry Washington and a Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's talk about what worked for you. What was something that worked for you?
So one scene, I'm liking Moody's, the character development there more, which I know probably contradicts what I just said. But I liked the scene a lot with him and Izzy in the dance when he pulls her away from his friend, whose name I can't remember, and just says, like, what he admires about her. And you can see why he would admire that, because that's not him. Like, he says, you're not afraid of anyone. You don't care what mom thinks. You don't care what anyone thinks. And that's why I love you. And I feel like he is the kind of sensitive kid who would be able to articulate that. Like, I think he would have thought about his sister in that way. And I think he would probably envy it. And so for him to see, like, it's the same thing when Mia sees her all dressed up for the dance and her face kind of falls because she knows that that is not her. I think for them to recognize that what is special about Izzy is what she's trying to cover up.
Yeah.
I liked that development of that subplot. Even though, I'll just leave it at that. How about you?
So for me, my favorite scene, it was another one of those super uncomfortable scenes, but it was at the dinner table when Brian comes to dinner and Pearl's there and Elena is I mean, it's again that thing.
We
like,
both just stopped our faces. Just like, what?
Just please stop talking. The whole time I just, she's doing the self-congratulatory like speech about her involvement. And I mean, you can just see Brian's face is like, oh, I mean, I can't believe I'm sitting here.
I know.
And then
when she says, why can you never come over? I'm like, oh my gosh, of course she never wants to be there.
Yeah. So that I thought was brilliant. Like, I thought the whole, like, just the tension and like her, like Elena totally oblivious, Lexi totally oblivious. I mean, like, I think like Lexi's tone deafness too. And also the scene in the dressing room when she's talking about Pearl's ethnicity and all this stuff. I'm just like, please stop. I mean, it was another one of those cringy moments, but I thought that was really well played by both of those actresses. I mean, but it was really, I mean, it was really cringy though.
Yeah, because she is just like Elena in thinking that she is being so accepting and so open-minded and so, I don't know, progressive. And everything she says is just proving the opposite of that. Both of those scenes. I mean, when Elena tells them that they surely have a lot in common.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that Brian is like, yeah, you like basketball and gangster rap or whatever. And I mean, it's just like, just because, I don't know. And also like that whole scene, like the scene in the dressing room with Lexi kind of planting in Pearl's head, like who her dad is and like his race and all of that. I thought that led to that moment between Pearl and Mia, which was actually one of my least favorite scenes, because to me, like, Mia just seems so selfish in that scene to me, and unaware of what it is like to be a teenager. I mean, she just seems so like, I don't know, like, I just so felt for Pearl during that scene. And I feel like I need to reread the book, because I remember being frustrated with Mia, but not having the most visceral reaction to her as I do in the show.
Yeah. And I think the choice to make her Black and to make, and the ramifications of race entering into the whole storyline, it's really interesting. Like, I wonder if I reread it with that, I don't know if I'll be able to reread it without thinking of her in that way.
Yeah.
Because
it is not clear. I mean, it is not clear what her race is in the book. I mean, like, and we talked about that in the first episode, that Celeste Ng did not intend her to be Black, which is, but she was fine with it happening that way. However, it makes some change. It definitely changes some of the ways that the story is perceived in the adaptation.
Because the tone deafness on the part of Elena and of Lexi, and all of that is highlighted by the fact that the characters are of a different race.
Yes.
Where, I guess it was just all class in the book, right?
Yeah, it was all class
and lifestyle and philosophy, life philosophy,
and privilege and and all of that. Yeah. Um, so we,
No.
we talked about
Never
what
mind.
worked and what didn't in that. Did you have a favorite scene?
I mean, I really liked the one with Moody and Izzy. I will say, I don't think this was my favorite scene, but I felt like it made Lexi feel more empathetic, was the scene with her and Brian. I mean, there are multiple times through the episode that you think he's going to break it off with her. And she's able to sort of wheedle her way back into them having a relationship. And when she finally realizes that the only way that he is just done with her because of her stealing Pearl's letter and all that, that the only way she's going to get him to stay with her is to have sex with him, even though she clearly does not want to. I mean, it's not a favorite scene, but I thought it was powerful, and I did think it made her more empathetic, that is the only form of power that she has, that she can wield, and that he is, like, he's a smart guy. He clearly is in the right to be angry with her, but that he gives in so easily. Like, I was frustrated with him, and it was a complicated feeling, but I did like that scene and the way it developed her character.
Yeah.
Which I feel like has not been developed as well. I still need more from Trip.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want to say, like, I always take, when I would watch the episode, I'd take notes so that I can, remember. And all I have beside Trip's name is Douche. Because that's like, he's just so, like,
yeah, oblivious.
Terrible. Like, I mean, and to me, like, a girl like Pearl, like, I don't feel like they have built his character enough to say why Pearl would be, like, so infatuated with him.
I mean, I think the only thing is that she is so clearly craving the security of that lifestyle.
Yeah.
That is all surface. And that he epitomizes that. Yeah. That's the only thing, because he is, I mean, I guess I don't know anything about him other than he likes girls named Jennifer. Sorry. That he has a lot of money, that clearly he's popular. And that scene of the dance when he tells Pearl that she looks so different. I'm like wanting to gag myself right now, but I will spare you all. But it was just so gross. I was, and poor Moody. I mean, Moody just breaks my heart. Because he loves her so much. And
you just know he's being set up for heartbreak. Oh my goodness. That was so one of the scenes was that I thought was really, like, well done and interesting was when they are packing up for the shower or the party, and the moment where Mia, like, sees Izzy, and then that moment where Elena sees Izzy, and the kind of the differing reaction and all of that. And, like, I thought the actress that plays Izzy, I just pulled it up because I just Megan Stott, she like plays that so well. Like that, like, she doesn't say it, but that yearning for the acceptance from her mom, and when her mom is, like, shaving her leg and all of that stuff. Yeah. I mean, that is just so powerful. And the fact that that she is conforming to something that she doesn't want to do, but she wants to do it for her mom. I see Jill Jill's my sister. She says she wants to read the book. Well, mom has it, so you can, she has my copy. So, and she read it, so you can read it. Yeah. But it's just, it's just so.
The whole train wreck of a conversation between Elena and Izzy when Elena is driving her to school, and she tells her about being really self-conscious because her chest was flat. And so she stuffed her bra until she had boobs, basically. Yeah. And then that she said, when she says, and that was the first time I was a journalist. I mean, it just goes, and it goes so far to developing her character and her worldview. But it also, Izzy is so clear-eyed in seeing the problems with all of that. So then the fact that she decides to go along with her mom's advice, you can see how desperate she is not to feel like the outcast anymore. Yeah. I mean, when they called her Ellen at the dinner table, it was
just heartbreaking.
Well, and it's that whole complicated yeah. I mean, I just don't remember enough about the book to know where that's going. But
Yeah.
it's the whole thing of just being bullied for who she is, or maybe being bullied for who she's not. I don't remember if she's gay or not.
I can't remember.
Either way, it's just, you think about the 90s and that kind of thing was happening, and then the cruelty of her siblings doing it, and yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling, but it's
no, you're not. No,
my brain is just
I wrote down when in that car moment where Izzy and Elena are in the car, Elena says, I shaped the story that I wanted to tell, literally. And Elena also says, everyone's telling a story whether they want to or not. And I do think that is part, that I felt like that part where everyone's telling a story whether they want to or not. I mean, that's true. Like, I thought that was pretty profound. But then when she said, I shaped the story that I wanted to tell, literally, that's what she said, literally. Yep. And I'm like, and I don't know. Like, it's something, Elena has these moments where she is just so connected with other characters. And then sometimes she is just so totally tone deaf. It is like, what are you doing?
I mean, it's like in episode 2 when she has that beautiful conversation about motherhood with Mia, and then she just ruins it all with 2 sentences. Ashley's saying, I think the stuff about Mia is tough. So much of her darker choices comes out late in the book, at which point I think we can feel a lot more compassion for her. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Thanks for, because again, like, I do, part of me wishes I would have reread it, but also part of me likes not knowing, so that like when I watch the episodes, it's not as it's kind of feels new. But I do, like, I want to say, like, again, I like the way that they shout out the 90s. You know, they made the Brenda and Dylan reference, which, 90210, and I thought that was really, like, interesting. And then there was something else when Reese was on the phone, or Elena was on the phone. Sorry, that is again what you said in episode 2. It is hard to divide Reese Witherspoon from Elena. I think because she's often played those types of characters, like Tracy Flick and in her character in Big Little Lies. I can't remember the character's name, but anyway, I think they do a good job of kind of calling back to the Ashley says, 90210. So they do a good job of calling back to those like late 90s references. I really like that.
I do too.
So is there anything else you wanted to talk about? I mean, I feel like we haven't talked a ton about the Bebe thing, but I feel like that whole what we talked about in the very beginning, I mean, that's kind of like the beginning. I feel like we'll be discussing that more in the next episodes.
I thought that Lexi's arguments, I mean, were very unconvincing. The one time that I did feel bad for her again was when she said, I had to write about a hardship. What am I supposed to write about? Sharing a sink with my sister, or you know what I mean? And so she's speaking from such privilege that it's frustrating, but it's also like, what is she supposed to write about? Is she supposed to make something up? Which is what she does. I mean, she steals Pearl's story, which of course is horrible, but you can see how she's so desperate to go there, and that she doesn't have, I don't know. So I think part of that is shallowness, but I also think part of that is legitimate kind of shrugging, like, what was she supposed to write about?
And I just want Pearl to be more angry about that.
I do too.
I mean, Brian does too. Like, that whole thing with Brian, I don't remember. I like it. I don't know. Like, because he was so angry about something that was so fundamental to his personal values, it made it feel a little, I don't know. I didn't buy it as much that he would cave that easily, even if they were going to have sex. I just felt like that he was so outraged by it and carried that for so many days that I just didn't feel like his resolve would have been that easily diminished. I agree.
And I can't remember. Bye, Jill. I don't remember in the book, because clearly in the book they were not of the same race. I don't think. Wasn't he? He was black in the book. Also, right? I'm
pretty sure they were.
Those of you who read it more recently, it was Brian black in the book. And then I don't remember if that whole near breakup happened because of the letter. Was it just because he felt like Lexi had made the wrong choice? But I think that's a great decision. But then, yeah, I mean, I go back to, I just think maybe he's sex starved, but I think that was not likely. I just,
No.
because again.
Well, and it was just, I mean, he like basic, I mean, like there was really no, I mean, he was so angry and then there was just no, yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how the rest of that relationship plays out. I mean, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
But also I'm interested to see how the actors play that.
I am too. And I'm hopeful for episode 4. Because again, I feel like there are a lot of things shifting. Like this is the real start of the BB subplot. And Izzy going to Mia and Pearl's house. That's a big moment. And the fact that Moody now knows that Pearl really maybe would rather be with Trip and Lexi. I mean, all of those things I feel like are important to go forward. Oh, Ashley's saying he is black.
He is black.
Yeah. So then, Ashley, why was he just as angry in the book about Lexi stealing Pearl's letter to get into you? And maybe you don't remember, but if you do, a little boost would not be a bad thing. Oh yeah, I was just saying about all the pieces. So I'm hopeful that episode 4, like it feels like things are really starting. Some of those plots are really starting to come into motion.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see where it goes. But yeah, so I guess my summary for me for this episode is just mixed emotions.
Yeah, yeah. I continue to feel a little icky about it. And I mean, the people are just doing bad things. Like, I don't know. He's really upset about her choice with the
that hasn't come in yet.
Oh yeah, they haven't done that yet in the movie or in the show. Yeah. So I guess maybe that'll be coming soon.
So I wanted to want to also shout out the music choices. They are doing a great job with that too. Like I do think the music is great. And like last episode, in episode 2, the very end, they do that really slow rendition of Sex and Candy. And then they did the really slow rendition of I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight. And I just think that those are both brilliant. It was just both brilliant, the way, like the arrangement that they chose and just the way that they kind of go out.
Yeah, and the music at the dance. Oh my gosh, the music at the dance, the tub thumping, and I can't even remember what all they play. It's so good.
And Caroline said she didn't remember the Yale issue from the book.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So maybe that's purely. I mean, in a way, that does make sense as an addition.
Yeah, it does. Well, and I mean, I think it definitely adds that extra conflict between Lexi and Brian,
right?
And also to have Brian and Pearl not being the same, but coming from a place where there is I don't know, like, I mean, being the same race. I mean, that makes that, like, when Elena says all that stuff about having marched and all that stuff. I mean, it's just like, so cringy.
Yes.
Do any of you all have anything to add about the show or the book or what you're thinking of this adaptation? Caroline, have you watched all 3 of the episodes?
I think there's sometimes a delay with the comments, but
okay.
Yeah, Ashley says that definitely calls back to a time. Yeah, the music really helps evoke all of that.
They're definitely doing a good job with that late 90s. That part. Yeah. Well, for our Give Me One to end this live, we were just going to do something that we do for our Easter tradition, an Easter tradition that we do since we're here on Easter weekend. Jen, do you want to say yours?
Sure. So it's really going to be different. We are usually, Carolyn says she is caught up.
Oh,
so yeah. Is it Carolyn or Caroline?
Caroline.
Okay.
I'm saying that right. Caroline, right? Caroline.
Anyway, I've never said it out loud before. So, but yeah, so we are usually at my family's home in West Virginia with my mom and my sister and her husband and my niece and nephew. And I have to say this quietly because one of my sons still believes in the Easter. But usually the Easter Bunny has a scavenger hunt with clues to the different things that the boys are getting that the kids are getting from their Easter basket. And it's this big, like all 4 kids. Oh, it is line.
Okay.
All 4 kids like have different things and run through the house. Sorry, I'm saying Ashley says it's funny when you all talk directly to us. It's like breaking the fourth wall in a TV show.
Yeah.
We're on The Office here. But yeah, so we are going to try to replicate that, but it is definitely going to be very different. My sister made a Facebook post yesterday that made me cry because she said this will be the first Easter ever that we're not together. And she had pictures of us when we were tiny. So yeah, feeling a little emotional, but
yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, so we definitely have a ton of traditions, but we don't get to do any of those this year. It's really difficult to be apart from my family and my parents and my grandma and stuff. So we are trying to start some new things. So we are going to do a Zoom call with all of our family and extended family tomorrow at 2. And then we always do an Easter egg hunt at my grandmother's house for the kids and sometimes for the grown-ups. And so we're going to do that for our kids too. But
yeah,
definitely trying to figure out navigating new waters. So
it has been an adjustment.
Ashley said yes, Fleabag.
Because of breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, gotcha. Like talking directly. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone want to share what they're doing this weekend? It's okay if you don't.
I will just say while we're waiting for comments to potentially show up. So we are watching episode 4 for Wednesday. Is that right?
Yes, for
okay.
Wednesday.
Ashley says we'll do an Easter egg hunt too. We'll be missing doing that with our friends though. Yeah.
We're going to do episode 4 this coming Wednesday. And I think I'm going to put a poll on Instagram to see if you would rather do like a 5 or a 7 or something like that, just to see if the 5 is not great during the work week. Cause I know some people, even if you're working at home, you're still working at 5. So I'll put that in Instagram story. So maybe we can get as many people as want to do.
Yeah, that sounds
can do
great.
it. So we'll do episode 4 on Wednesday. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thanks.
We will see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.